you. And so I'm going to make some of you nervous here in a minute, but that's okay. Some people, when I'm talking, and I don't just stare at my notes, I kind of make eye contact with people as I teach. Sometimes I look at a person and they're looking at me like this. And I can tell right away when I look at them, they're locked in on me and they're paying really good attention to me. Okay, do I like to see that? Yes. It's nice to know somebody's listening. So I tend to look at those people more often than anybody else, okay? And then there are some people, and I hope none of you are ever like this because it's pretty disrespectful, who sit in class and are just like this. And all that, and they're advertising the fact, I'm not listening, I don't care, who cares if I'm being rude, I'm not listening. That doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while. And then there's the third group. All of you are in this group every once in a while, but some of you, when I describe this, you realize I almost live there and I've got to get out of there. These are people like this. As I'm teaching, I look at somebody and I see them doing this. Everything looks really good on the outside, but when I look deep in their eyes, there's nobody there. They're gone on what I call a mental vacation. And if you saw this from the front of a room, it's like a science fiction movie, like somebody sucked them right out of their body. They're just sitting there like that, and I know they're not listening to one word I'm saying. Okay? When somebody goes on a mental vacation, that's normal. But the question is for you, and don't answer me, how often do you go on vacation? And how long are you gone when you go? And I'll let you in on a little secret. Sometimes I've looked at somebody in class and I see them and I know that they're not listening, so I look somewhere else and talk. Then I look back and they're still on vacation. So I look over here and then I look back and a few minutes later, they're still on vacation. And so I've always wanted to do this. And I'm really big on respect, so I would never do this, but this is sort of a dream, weird dream. I would go up to them like this, right in the middle of class. And I'd lean over and say, where are you? Take me with you. Wherever they are, it's obviously a lot more interesting than what we're doing. They're on a beach somewhere, or I don't know what they're doing. If you're the type of person who lets your mind wander, and then it comes back after a few seconds, and then it wanders later, welcome to the human race. But if you take frequent flyer vacations, and you're gone for like 10 minutes at a time, that's not good. Obviously, you're missing a huge amount of the work. I don't know if this has happened to you before, but when I was a student, I tried so hard to concentrate, but sometimes it's hard, okay, and you know that. And every once in a while, I would drift away and go on vacation. And then a couple minutes later, I would come back into my body, and I'd start listening again. And the first thing I heard the teacher say is, okay, so don't forget that, all right? And I'm thinking, I have no idea what you're talking about. So does that, again, don't answer me, does that sound like a constant nagging problem or an occasional one? It just depends on you, okay? The second one is something that a lot of students misunderstand when I write this down, but I want to try to give you a little example of this too. It's called selective listening. Okay, now, selective listening usually means you listen to what you want to hear, you tune out the rest, right? That's sometimes a problem, but that's not exactly what I mean by this. What I mean by this is this word, and that is distractions. Okay, so the question for you is, how easily are you distracted, and as a result, you don't listen carefully to the person talking?